My bad, we were muted. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Thank you for waking up with TD in the morning. Buffalo is on the way. We got a great stream lined up for you all. I hope everybody's doing good this morning. Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. Rise and grind, all right? Listen, sorry for the technical difficulties. We were late because YouTube would not allow me to load the video. But I figured out why they wouldn't allow me to load the video. So yesterday evening, basically I realized that the all 22 film had come out. And I went on Game Pass to find the all 22 film, and for some reason it just wasn't there. And this was like because I was going to stream around 8 p.m. last night, and this was around 4 p.m. All right. I kept on trying. Hey, where is the all 22? Where is the all 22? And I learned a lot last night. So just give you an update on the all 22. The all 22 was not released in the U.S. But there's ways to get it because I was watching it all last night. So basically, I don't know what the licensing issues are with the United States, but on Game Pass, the all 22 is not available in the US. And I had to someone gave me the workaround. Basically, I had to go through the VPN. And if you don't know what that is, basically, if you have a VPN on your computer, it basically makes it seem like you're in another country. You're drawing internet from another country or whatever it is. So I went through that process. And then when I drew the internet from another country, basically I had to go to Game Pass International, which is something that I didn't even know existed. So I went to Game Pass International, and I saw the all 22, and I said, "Yay, let's roll!" So as soon as I pull up the all 22, I tried to do a test to see if I could stream Game Pass like on my computer, and YouTube would not allow it at all. They kept sending me, "Hey, you need to sign in. Somebody in Spain is trying to log into your account." And I'm like, "Oh, because I'm in the VPN and it's making it seem like I'm in Spain." And YouTube is not allowing that for some reason. And I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm scratching my head. What is going on? Why can't I why does the US not have the Sunday ticket? I mean, not the Sunday Ticket, but the all 22. But I realize it's just some contractual issues or whatever it may be, but the international has it. So I watched it as if I was in Spain, but it won't allow me to stream it. And then later in the night, I actually realized the only reason he was actually going through the all 22, and I realized because he's in Canada. And there was a way I figured out how to stream the all 22, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I had to be careful because some of y'all may not know this, especially if you got those bootleg movie apps on your phone. You might want to get rid of them. But back early this year in January or February, whenever we got, the quote unquote stimulus checks and things like that, the CARES Act. Within the CARES Act, there was also some laws passed that basically they turned the illegal streaming and things of that nature into felonies. And if I would have streamed the all 22 the way that I actually found it, that would actually be illegal. And also have a safe way of me watching it without it being illegal. But as far as streaming it, that would actually be an illegal thing. And I just thought that it was very interesting that in a stimulus package bill that there were laws passed to make certain things illegal. So to me, that's like a way to set a whole bunch of people up that have bootleg stuff. But that's neither here nor there. So until the game, and they said it should be early next week when it's available in the US. That's what they're pushing for and they're hoping for. So hopefully it's available early next week. But I am gonna unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to show it, but I am gonna talk about a few things that I did see in the film last night after watching the entire game 2 times. So we're gonna break down some of that. We're gonna go through it in great detail. Shout out to the homie Estefan with the donation. Said it's all good. TD, go longer. Steven plays music for 30 minutes. Not for 30 minutes, bro. I don't know if that's for 30 minutes. But yeah, man. We're gonna talk about some things on that film that was good and some things on that film that was just wasn't good. Okay. Overall, man, it was a fair day from the whole team. I got to be honest with you. It was a fair day from the whole team. But we'll break all that down. We'll go into detail. We'll talk about it all. But again, appreciate y'all rocking with us this morning. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on your way in the building because, again, YouTube is not sending the notifications. But the reason why I was actually late on this stream is because when I was trying to load just this stream, YouTube kept saying it didn't work. And then whenever I researched the problem, it's because it said I'm in Spain. And I realized, I need to turn off the VPN. I never had it turned off. That's why I loaded one video. Some of y'all was already here for one video. I had to delete that whole video and start over and start this new stream. So some of y'all know that I was actually available at 7 a.m. ready to stream. But I had to delete that video because I had to log in with the VPN off to put me back in the US because it kept saying someone's trying to hack into your account in Spain and all type of stuff like that, man. So that's what was going on. So I'm sorry for being late. Shout out to the homie, Great One Devore. I haven't spoke to you in a while, homie. Hit me up, man. The truth shall set you free, Fins fans. Yeah, it always does, man. It always does. All right. I watched the all 22 last night. Good morning. That's what's up, Black Dolphin. Did you have access to it in the US? You might know something that I don't know. If you watched it last night, you might have access to it in the US, man. If you're in the US. So let me know. And if you did, is it something I'm missing? Is there another way other than the VPN? Because I can't do it that way. It'll be illegal for me, man. Excited for roundtable tonight. Me too, man. I can't wait. Master Works has a bet that he needs to honor, and we're gonna see live on my channel if he's gonna honor that bet or not. We're gonna see if he honors that bet or not. Let me see here. He said watched it on Reason channel last night. Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Man, listen. I actually wish I was in Canada right now. I would have loved to stream all 22 and show y'all. But the US need to get their act together. And I believe it's all about money. It's always all about money. But we'll figure it out, man. Good morning, Justice. All right, man. So real quick, I did want to talk about last night. And if some of y'all saw the all 22 last night, man, you'll be able to tell me whether I'm on point or if I'm off right here. So we need to talk about it. After evaluating the offensive line last night, because I was the real vocal point, again, I still remain with my opinion to say that they were fair. They just were not great and they just weren't good. They were fair last night. They did enough to make enough to help Tua make enough plays to win the game. They definitely left some meat on the bones. They could have done a lot more to protect him. There were a lot of opportunities Tua had that he had to rush in occasions. That if he didn't have to rush, I have full confidence that he would have completed the play. So we just got to do it. It's that half a second, y'all. It's that half a second. All right. John D said, all 22 available on Game Pass in the UK. I know that's what I watched it on last night. But in order for me to actually watch it on the Game Pass in UK, I had to use the VPN. But YouTube won't allow me to stream the VPN because I'm in the US. It keeps saying you're in Spain. This is not allowed. You're in Spain I start changing the location. I'm like, okay, I'm here instead. But because the VPN allow you to act like you're in multiple countries, but it just wouldn't work. But yeah, man. It was a half second different last night. A half second more protection would have really helped Tua. One thing I focused on last night is I recognized on a lot of plays, another half second would have helped. There were also a lot of players that just weren't like on some plays. New England did a great job locking down a lot of the receivers. They did a really good job locking down a lot of the receivers last night. So we had some empty plays, but this is where I feel like, even Tua, he could be better pre-snap, recognizing what they're in, because they ran the same thing. Like they did a lot of single high. They did some cover two. They ran a lot of the defense that I would like to see us do more consistent. But they ran the same thing about 80% of the night, y'all. About 80% of the night. And I have to tell y'all, man, on a lot of the third downs, we had to throw in those situations. And there weren't many, but there were a few plays that they'll look at in the film room and Tua will know going forward. I hope he'll know going forward. You know what? I need to audible this play into a run. Some of those cover twos where nobody was there, I need to audible this into a run play. So we had some opportunity in that regards. He was just sped up a lot. Now, there were some times where the pocket were clean. And Tua, again, I still maintain that he had a fair day, just like the offensive line. He left some meat on the bones as well. Man, when you look at the film overall, I don't remember the exact count that I had, but let me give you a guess based off of what I watched last night, man. I'm going to say about 8 plays. Man. We left some meat on the bones, like some major meat on the bones. There were 2 plays where Gesicki beat it. Gesicki's a terrible route runner, by the way. And I'm still not fully sold on Gesicki in this blocking game. I've seen some things he did well and some things he just didn't care. So, and then his route running, he picks and chooses when he wants to run clean routes. Because I was looking to try to find that the play where he got mad, and I actually found 2 plays where he got mad. They were kind of back to back. So I saw the build up. I actually saw the build up of why he got mad. But what I saw was Gesicki picks and chooses when he actually wants to run a good route. A lot of his routes were just sloppy, but there were some routes where he made some moves and got wide open, and I was actually shocked. And man, was he wide open, and Tua was actually looking his way and just never threw it. And there was huge gain opportunities on some of those plays, man. Hey, this is the moment where I wish I had the all 22. Because y'all, there was one play where Gesicki ran up. He put a move on the guy. The guy was shook because he stepped inside and Gesicki stepped outside and was like wide open. And Tua just didn't throw the ball and he checked it down instead. The ball wasn't out his hand yet. Black Swan, okay, Black Swan said yes, wide open. You watched all 22. I don't know if they saw that play last night on Reese's channel, but man, this man was wide open, and he might have been able to turn it up on the sideline, and the ref would have been able to put them hands up. The ref would have been able to put them hands up, man. Also, man, there was another play by Gesicki that I mean, it was a few plays that he had his man, and then and on that play where Gesicki put that move on was wide open, that was the one where he got mad. He basically went like this. When he never threw it to him and he checked it down, he threw it and it was incomplete or something. Gesicki said, gosh, man. Gesicki was heated. I saw it. I didn't see him and Flores have the exchange and the blow up, but you see Gesicki just pissed. Like he didn't just like aim. He was like, like he was just heated. So I actually saw the play, but I wasn't able to see the back and forth exchange with Flores on the sideline. And the play like before that, or two plays before that, he missed Gesicki, and Gesicki was like shaking his head like that. So he got a little heated. He had a point, but on the one before that, Gesicki didn't even run a great route. Don't get me wrong, it still could have been thrown to him, but he didn't make it easy because there was a safety over the top. I saw there was a safety over the top, and I don't blame Tua for not throwing it, because had you actually ran a clean route, he might have actually threw it. I mean, it was a lot of stuff all over the place. I just think, and also there were a lot of underneath things that we missed as well. I think that we went for the tougher throw. Also, listen, y'all, Gesicki, I saw two missed opportunities. And remember, on these plays, the O-line actually did well. They did well. Somebody said he was rounding out his routes. Come on, man. Exactly. Gesicki got to be better, man. Let me tell y'all who could have had a monster game. Y'all gonna be surprised. I want y'all to actually guess. There's a wide receiver that could have had a monster game. When you watch the film, there is one wide receiver that could have had a monster game. Monster game. When you look at the opportunities that were missed on the field last night, there were 3 plays to this man where I'm like, wow, you don't see it on regular highlights. And it's not Albert Wilson. When I watched that film last night, there were 3 plays for this one man that I was like, oh my gosh, why wasn't the ball thrown? Jakeem Grant was out there putting in work. Man, I'm telling y'all now, man. I'm telling y'all now, Jakeem Grant, I'm shocked some of y'all know that, man. Some of y'all know that. I don't understand how y'all know you wouldn't have saw it on regular film. But yes, man, Jakeem Grant, when I tell you this man was burning people across the field, 2 of them he burnt his man. One of them he had his man beat, and that would have been the biggest game. One of them he was on the left side of the field, and he ran a deep post route. Like, he went up the field like 30 yards and start cutting across. He had like that good separation where if the ball was led about 50 yards down the field, he'd have moonwalked in the end zone. I mean, you talking about, it was one the thing in the, don't get me wrong, the pass would have actually had to been perfect, right? But it was single coverage, and that's the shot you got to take. That's the shot you got to take. That right there is the shot you have to take. There was another one where Grant was coming across the middle, we decided to go to, I think it was Waddle. I don't remember. I think it was Waddle. I think he would have got like a nice little 15-yard game on it. I mean, and Tua ended up throwing the ball for incomplete to somebody else. I forgot who it was, but he was right there in his eyesight, and it was just frustrating. But I'm gonna tell you, there was one where Jakeem. Let me tell you another one that I saw. So this was y'all remember the play where Parker caught it for 30 yards, where he high pointed the ball. He turned around and high pointed it. So it was a completion. That was a 30-yard completion. That was a 30-yard completion. Okay. So, and it was a 50-50 ball. What's blinding about that play is we'll never notice the fact that, hey, man, we don't need to criticize that play because it was a 30-yard completion. But boy, oh boy. If Tua would have just looked at the other side of the field, this is one that I really want to show y'all. I don't know how I'm going to get to show y'all this. Maybe I can go into all 22 and clip it and put it on Twitter. But Jakeem Grant made this little semi-second move. He was on the left side of the field. Jakeem Grant was running a go route about 10 yards in the route. He made this little itty-bitty move that looked like he was about to run an out or in or a comeback. The defender went for it, and Jakeem Grant was running to heaven. Jakeem Grant was running to heaven. This man had put the move. He was going 10 yards, and then 10 yards down the field, he said, the defender said, oh, he trying for the short game, but Grant put them jets on and went deep. And oh my gosh, you can't be no more open than that. You can't shake a man better than that. And this man would have, oh my gosh, he was on his way to heaven. He was on his way to heaven. And I'm like, oh, how did we miss this? So I evaluated Tua in this situation. So I watched Tua. So I changed the view and I went from Tua in the pocket, right? And I'm looking, as soon as Tua hiked the ball, he looked right at Devontae. And he never looked anywhere else. He threw the 50-50 ball up to Devontae and never even looked to the left. And Jakeem Grant would have had we got a 30-yard gain. So people are like, well, we got a positive play. That's all that matters. But had he looked to the left, that was a touchdown. Easily. Grant had them put that, oh, you thought I was stopping? Nope. Oh, he had his guy. And Grant didn't complain like Gesicki did. Grant wasn't pouting about it. See, that's the type of play you pout about. But Grant, being a great team player, because I watched his mic'd up as well. He was all over the field going crazy, talking to his teammates. But man, he had that man beat so bad. The Tua only looked one way, never changed his head direction, and he fired to Parker. He already knew where he wanted to go, and no matter how it was guarded, he threw the ball. And that's why J.C. Jackson said what he said, to be honest with y'all. That's why J.C. Jackson said what he said. He said we already know Tua. He going to look at his guy. He already know where he want to go with the ball. If you take away that first read, he going to throw it anyway. But I don't like the throw. I mean, I don't dislike the throw because it's still a 50-50 to Parker. Also, when you look in the secondary on that play, there was a single high. So you were going to get man-to-man on one side or the other. And the play started out with the safety on Grant's side. And so that's a reason. See, this is what I noticed in this game. This is where I get frustrated. So I made an excuse for Tua. I said, well, there's single high safety, and the safety is actually a little bit closer to Grant's side. So I may understand him picking the side and just going to the right to Parker, just to feel like it's the safer side. Either way, Grant would have beat the man and the safety had he had flicked that up, by the way. So I gave him that. I was like, it's okay. He looked at the safety and he said, I'm not going to go that way because I know I have a guaranteed one-on-one on the right side, right? But that Gesicki play right after that was a single safety, And it was on the closest. No, it wasn't the Gesicki route. It was the I don't know if it was Gaskins or Ahmed. Y'all remember the route where he was open on the right side of the field and Tua threw it over there, but it was a little short. That play was the same defense for New England. They ran a single high safety, and you had the same situation where the safety this time was closer to the side that he threw it. So I tried to give him that excuse for the Grant one, but then the next play, not the next play, it was like a few plays later or something. A few plays later, it's the same situation, and he actually throws it on the side where the safety is closer to. So it's like, I can't give him credit for the first one now because he already knew where he wanted to go with the ball and he just went. It's that simple. TD, that's nitpicking. LOL. He's not gonna be perfect. Nobody said he would. Y'all need to stop saying it's nitpicking. It's called critique. Let me tell y'all something. You know what those coaches doing in the locker room today with Tua? Do you know what they were doing? If they went to practice yesterday, and I think they came back Wednesday today, but if they did go back yesterday, do you know what they doing? They in there, right? They in there with Tua, and they're saying, look, they're going through all of these exact same, what y'all call nitpicks. That's what they're coaching. You have to coach to perfection. Because if you don't believe in perfection, at least believe in whatever the closest thing is to it. I don't know what that is, but whatever the closest thing is to it, that's what you got to believe in. And that's what these coaches are doing. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think the coaches are being as critical as I am in the film room? Or even more critical? Yes or no in the comment section? Or do y'all think they letting everything go by, all the little stuff go by? Yes or no in the comment section? Is the coaching staff in the film room being this critical or even more? Yes or no, or not as critical? Put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section. More critical. Yes. Way more. Yes. Maybe. More critical. Even more. Way more. Thank y'all. Stop that. Oh, you're nitpicking. This is, if the coaches can do it and be way more critical, you should be happy I'm giving you the critiques that he needs to work on. Because as you see him grow and you see those issues disappear, you can appreciate Tua's growth more. So y'all, listen, man, y'all got to stop with this little underhanded, oh, you're hating, you're nitpicking. Listen, this is the game of football. Inches matter. Inches matter. Any of y'all who saw that film last night, how many throws did that 1 inch off by Tua make the difference? Go look at the Waddle pass that he dropped. Waddle got his hands on it. For the record, because y'all always beat me up for this, Waddle still should have made a play and caught the ball, but he leaped off his feet and it was like an inch too much outside. It was an inch too much outside. Had that ball been placed in his chest on the run, he would have been able to turn up the field. Anybody who watched the film last night will agree with that. Anybody. Now, the best comment I've seen is somebody said, well, the coaches are haters. That's a real Tua deal there, but I respect that. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, man. Somebody said those inches will become dimes. Exactly. And that's what we're talking about. All we're doing is recognizing some of the throws that you got to be better on. Every pass ain't going to be perfect. Every pass ain't going to be perfect. I was arguing with y'all yesterday about the one to Albert Wilson in the end zone. I'm telling y'all, man, I watched that pass on the All-22, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, in practice, that will be a good pass, but it could be better. You got to lead that to the back of the end zone by the pylon or the back line, and he catches that easily on the go versus having to turn around. I'm sitting there arguing with y'all yesterday about that, and I'm telling y'all, man, this is what I see on film. But I also saw a lot of cases where plays stalled and Tua still tried to make a play because the O-line didn't give him enough time. But guess what? The one to Gesicki, every single one to Parker, a lot of those plays, that line actually held up. The line actually gave him a pocket. All those big hitters that I just mentioned to y'all, the line actually gave him a pocket. Josh Allen sucked his first few years. He just started doing good. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. That Wilson play was a TD if it was not underthrew. And you know what? You can't say it was really underthrew. It was actually the perfect pass. The defender just made a great play. But if you were able to feel that defender out and recognize what was happening, you would like to lead that pass instead of throw that pass into the guy's bucket. You don't want that pass, to catch him in the stomach on a turnaround. You want it to be a lead pass, and then it would have been a touchdown. Because overall, it's not a bad throw with a regular defense and a regular corner. But the defender just caught up and made a great play. I'm not even going to rag on Tua on that play. It wasn't a bad throw. It was just a better throw to be made. That's what people need to understand. A lot of throws in the NFL are good throws, but there is a better throw to be made. But if I talk about what that better throw is, y'all say I'm nitpicking. So if he did something a different way and it would have been a touchdown versus the way he did it, I don't understand why people say that's nitpicking. It would have been a touchdown. Black Dolphins saw the film last night. He said it could have put that pass on the back end zone. It would have been a TD to Wilson. I agree. Listen, I don't know if y'all remember that deep post to Grant. That might have been a TD. That stutter move by Grant, where I'm telling y'all, man, it was a thing of beauty. Grant, oh my God, just thinking about it, it was just ridiculously flawless. Grant put a move on that man on that double move. That could have been a touchdown. The one to Waddle, if he would have led the pass, that could have been a touchdown. The one to Albert Wilson, if he would have led the pass, that could have been a touchdown. The one to Gesicki towards the sideline, had he threw it in stride to him instead of checking down, he would have been able to turn up the corner. I'm not going to say that would have been a touchdown, but it would have been first and goal from the 10 or the 5, because I don't know if Gesicki would have beat the safety to that pylon. He would have caught it, had about 7 feet of room, but he had 20 yards to go, and that safety would have probably closed somewhere around the 10-yard line. But I'm telling y'all, whether y'all want to listen to me or not, whether y'all want to believe me or not, Tua Tagovailoa himself left 4 touchdowns and a possible almost 5 touchdowns on the bones last Sunday. And the O-line by themselves caused Tua to stall about 6 plays in that game. There were like 6 plays in that game where had Tua had a half a second more, I'm not saying any of those would have been a touchdown because none of those were strikes that he needed a half second more, but he would have completed the pass. I'm pretty confident he would have been able to make the play had he had a half second more. The offensive line, had they given him a half second more, there's about 6 plays I saw he would have been able to make a play. And there were 5 plays where Tua could have almost had a touchdown had he just at least taken the right read. I mean, there were a lot of plays where there were guys open, but his decision-making on who he went to. But I also saw some really good things that he did as well. One thing that I did love is when I loved and hated, I'll be honest. I love that when nothing is there, he goes to his check down. But on some of these plays, he was already going to his check down. I'm telling y'all, one of the most indictive things that I wanted to show on the All-22 after I watched it that was frustrating that I wanted y'all to see, out of all his dropbacks, more than 50% of them, as soon as he hikes the ball, he looks at a guy and he never looks away. More than 50% of them, he looks at that one guy and never looks away. Every play I watched him throw, I went back and then I looked at the view from behind the line of scrimmage. He hikes the ball, looks away. Is it there? Is it there? Got it. I'm going that way. Is it there? Is it there? No, it's not there. And then you got a whole nother ratio of when he had to go to the second look. Because I think I saw like 3 plays total. Yes, total. Because I looked for every single play. Every single play I look for this, for progressions and reading progressions. I'm thinking about 3 plays in the whole game he was actually going through progressions. The problem is I think he would have had a few more, but those 6 plays where the O-line didn't give him time. The O-line didn't give him time. But out of all his dropbacks, I literally saw some progression work going through them like 3 times. Even Brady not pick himself on blowouts. Pick himself. What do you mean by pick himself? Shake Money, let me know. Black Dolphin, who saw the film last night, said first read, he got to get away from that. And if y'all watched it on Fifth Side the NFL, I wonder if they saw some of the same things I saw. I wonder if they were seeing some of the same things I saw. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to know if they saw some of the same things I saw. Make sure I ain't tripping here. Because that's the one thing I want to do. As soon as that all 22 is available in the US, I want to start calibrating. I want to have calibration sessions. Black Dolphin, who was watching I guess the stream last night, all 22, he said yes, they was. Cool. That's good to know. That's good to know they saw the things that I saw. That's good to know. So you're saying Tua doesn't read his progressions well. He's never read his progressions well. All the way from college. That was my pre-draft assessment. Everybody killed me for it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you never heard this before, let me make it clear to y'all. I went back and I watched all of Tua. Well, I ain't watch all his games. I was watching all his, like most of his games, right? And I'm like, I'm not finna keep watching him play all these trash teams and look like the best quarterback of all time in the NFL and college. That's what I saw when I watched the film on Tua in college. He just balling out, getting everything he wanted. I'm like, yeah, man, this is amazing, but I'm not finna watch all of this film of the same thing over and over. I said, okay, first of all, let me make a list of all the ranked teams he played. You know, when he played them when they were ranked. Vanderbilt was 2 games when they were ranked, and some other SEC opponents. I think I end up watching 8 games. I end up breaking it down to all the ranked opponents he played in the regular season and in the playoffs. There were like 8 major games. And also I made sure they were major games. I made sure they were close to the end of the season where he would be at his best form. And I also made sure they were either in the playoffs or the national championship, right? So I got those games and I started watching them. And this was pre-draft, before the draft even came, right? I'm just watching and I'm just watching. And I'm taking notes and I'm trying to understand this kid. And in those games, I'm like, okay, he's actually playing better defenses. This is where you can get at least a better assessment. He's still got all Americans all around him, but you could get a better assessment when he's playing more competition versus all these scrubs every week. So I'm watching. And I'm looking and I'm like, dang, I realize every single interception he's ever had has happened in these games. And it ain't many, y'all. It ain't many. He still only had like 7 or something like that altogether. But all of them happened in the games that I was watching because it was tougher competition. I said he still played well in these games, but it wasn't as good as it normally was. The windows were tighter. The run game wasn't as good at times. The team was still balling against a lot of these teams. But I noticed some of the flaws started to peek out. And there were like 3 games in particular. One was the LSU game and one was the Clemson game. I never forget watching those games and I said, man, they have a really good game plan. Every time Tua hikes the ball, he looks one way, and he's looking, it's not there. As soon as he abandons that look and goes somewhere else, it is chaos. Like it's frazzled. It's like the game just sped up. Oh my God. All right, I got to get this done. And he still made some plays, but you saw the flaw areas. You saw the areas of, oh man, is there an issue here with him actually going through his progressions? Because he's not completing the ball much whenever they take away that first read. And then I found something else. Not only do you take away the first read, but then when they're bringing pressure as well, I saw disaster in college. It didn't happen much because that situation doesn't happen much. You might have 50 plays in a game, and the team, when he played those teams, they only put him in that situation like 15 times. Every other game, he like has it 2 times in the whole game. But I'm sitting here like, man, there is a high percentage of just bad plays when that happens. And I'm like, I wonder why more teams don't do this often, because they ain't got the personnel to match up with Alabama. And I said, I'm not going to say that this is the issue, but it does concern me. And I also can't say that this is a real issue because it doesn't happen enough to make that conclusion. But it's something for me to keep my eye on, that if somebody put pressure on this man and they take away his first read, is he going to process the rest of it the right way? In no game you really got a large enough sample size to really be critical of it, but it made you say, I got to keep my eye on this. When he comes to the next level, whoever he gets drafted by, I need to keep my eye to see how that looks in the NFL, because everything's going to tighten up in the NFL. And so we start arguing on the show. We start arguing about, well, I said, I got in my feelings, before we drafted him. I said, I'm concerned about his injury, but I'm also concerned that he's a one-read quarterback. And boy, everybody went crazy on me. One-read quarterback? Tua ain't no what? You crazy. You done lost all credibility. I said, man, I don't know if he is, but I'm going to say this. I see everything going off of a one-read. Anytime you take away that first read and send pressure, he does not look the same. You a hater. He did it all at Alabama. I said, yeah, against the trash teams. I didn't see that against great competition. And this was my pre-draft analysis. They argued me for almost, 6 months about it, and it was what it was. We just had our disagreements. And somebody sent me, I didn't even find this myself, y'all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't even know this existed. Somebody sent me a post-game show of Clemson. And a defender, remember, I don't know if it was Clemson or LSU, but it was a national championship game or something like that. And they showed me one of the players on the podium after they just won a national championship or the playoff game. I forgot which game it was, but they had just beat them, and they had just won. They beat them in the big game. And he's on the podium, like, how post-game, the whole world watching, he's on the podium, and they were like, so how was it, going up against, one of the greatest college quarterbacks? Well, this is what this man said. Well, we already knew what to expect with Tua. We knew that we could beat Tua coming in. We knew that if we took away his first read, that and we made sure that we got enough pressure that he wouldn't be able to keep up in this game. They also said this. They said we also knew that, no matter when the play starts, just don't get manipulated if you're a safety. If he looks down the middle of the field as a safety, he is only trying to hold you off from trying to go to one of the deep sides. And we knew not to be fooled by that, his mechanics. We knew not to be fooled by that. We know how he is. And I said, I told y'all I played that. And then somebody else sent me another video of Clemson when they beat them, the exact same thing. A player saying, well, we already knew how to beat Tua. We take away that first read, blah, blah, blah. The 2 games, both of them said it. I used it as validation, but it still don't mean that it's religion, because I got to see him on the next level. So when everybody beat up J.C. Jackson on Twitter, they were in their feelings. We won the game, and they don't want to hear no J.C. Jackson because he got burnt by Parker. It's almost like people with the knick-knack. What J.C. Jackson said was true. What J.C. Jackson said a few days ago was true. They asked him about Tua's performance. He basically was like, I ain't impressed, they asked him about Tua's interception. And he said, I mean, I'm not surprised. That's Tua doing what he gonna do. You take away that first read, if it ain't open, he gonna throw it anyway. This has been a forever thing for Tua, and everybody keeps ignoring it. They keep making it seem like this man is just going through progressions all day and just ripping people apart. Obviously, he's not. And that right there is the only thing outside of ball placement on the run. I didn't have an issue. Ball placement on the run. Tua can complete some passes, but I like to see his placement of where he completed, allow more yards at the catch. That is my only critique of Tua. Everything else, this is the guy. Everything else, he's the guy. This is the only two areas he needs to improve. When they take away that first read, see, let me tell you what it is. I don't even know if it's that he don't know how to read a defense or go through progressions, but the problem is when he knows where he wants to go, if it's not there initially, he stays there for an extra second to make sure. And in the NFL, you cannot make sure. You got to start your progressions. That's what it really is. So the truth is, I don't know if he can't read his progressions. The problem is he's starting them a second late. So if he want to go to Parker on the comeback route, he hikes the ball, he looks left, he waits on Parker to come back, but the guy's draped all over him. He's like, oh, are you going to get open? While you're saying, oh, are you going to get open? You should be on to the next one. You should be on to the next read. So I think that's the true issue. Maybe it's not that he can't read defenses and go through his progressions. He's doing it. How many times have y'all seen Tua look one way, look like he want to throw, but pull it back and then throw it? How many times have y'all seen that? Because the first time, that's usually there in practice. And then he kind of, then he throws it. It's like, I need this guy to be open. He's not initially, can you get open? You can, in the NFL, you cannot say, can you get open? You cannot show that motion of, can you get open? Can you get open? Supposed to be second progression. And I'm telling y'all, that's the true issue. I'm not trying to be critical and nitpick this guy. That's exactly what the issue is. That's it. I'm telling y'all. Yeah, his O-line can help him more. We all know this. Yeah, his receivers, if they touch the ball, they can catch it more. But if Tua can fix those issues right there, there's just too many things that's a half a second late. I am not nitpicking. I'm telling y'all, I done studied this on his film since college, and I got killed for it. Now we got the third legitimate player. All three of those players that said it are in the NFL right now. The third player that has said the same thing. And we want to, he just hating. J.C. Jackson just hating because Parker toasted him. I get it. Let's eat J.C. Jackson alive. You got toasted by Parker. I'm all with that. But we got to stop ignoring facts, man. And the scary part about it is if Clemson knew it, if LSU knew it, if J.C. Jackson knew it, that's the scariest part. You know why? What you think that New England was talking about in that locker room all week before the game? Well, teams think they already got Tua figured out. Y'all remember the Denver game? It's exactly what I'm talking about. That's all Denver did. Take away the first read, send pressure. Oh my gosh, you talk about a horrible game? The only thing with the Denver game, they did it the whole game, at least 80% of the time. 80% of the time. TD Tua talk. That's exactly what it is. He's the biggest figure on this team. Why do you think they talk about LeBron all day? He's the biggest figure in the NBA. This is what people want to know about. This is what they want to hear about. They want to know how this guy can be great because people love him so much. And that's why we talk about him all the time. Yes, they have Tua need to get away from the first read stuff. I hope it can be fixed, TD. But let me tell you something, Black Dolphin. Let me tell you something about that first read thing. I want to put a little bit of the blame on the coaches. Like, let me give you an example. I want to put blame on the coaches, or maybe we need to think about this from a coaching standpoint. So let me give you both thought processes. Dang, it's 8 o'clock, but I'm gonna try to go a few minutes later because I was later. All right. Let me give you the thought process of a coach. Chan Gailey told y'all the answer last year. Stop asking me to open it up. I'm gonna give him what he can handle. But at the same token, you got to give him more so that he can get used to handling it. So it's a two-way street. There's a two-way street here. What are we supposed to do? What are the coaches supposed to do, y'all? Because that's the real question. I think they're giving him what he can handle. They're trying to give him the quick pass. They're trying to make it easy. They're trying to make the game seamless for him, just like Belichick did for Mac Jones. Quick hitters, let's make it easy for you. Let's try to get your first read there. But Mac Jones was doing that extra stuff, calling the high, knowing where the pressure was coming, so he knew he would be open. He's doing all that extra stuff, and I'm not going to compare him to Tua. But y'all see the extra stuff he was doing. So what is the coach supposed to do? I got to give him what'll help him and work for him for us to be successful. But I also need to put him in those other situations so he can get better at it. But the problem is, can this team afford to put him in a situation to help him grow? Because if we put him in that situation, we might have to take some losses. We might have to lose this year to be better in the future. But the problem is, this team is ready to compete now. So what do they do? Y'all got to answer this for me. I don't have the answer. What should the Miami Dolphins do? What should the Miami Dolphins do? And another thing y'all got to realize, somebody just put in the comment section, better plays. Basically, we need to call better plays. Do you know what better plays are? Better plays are plays that actually require progressions even more. Those better plays that get bigger chunks and are creative and just more schematic, those require progressions to be used a lot more. Especially if they take the first one away. The better plays require more progressions to be read. So what do you do? So I really feel like the coach is doing the best thing that they possibly can. They are trying to win games. They're trying to give him what they know he can do very well, routes and concepts that will allow him to look at a guy and let the ball go. That's what they're trying to do. And then you get a few plays sprinkled in where Tua looks at the first read, is not there. He looks across. See, let me tell y'all something. This is what people be acting like is reading progressions. See, this is what kills me. I argue with people. I've watched film in the past. This is what progressions are. I look at the first guy. I recognize what the defense is doing. I don't need to let his route develop. I already see what the defense is doing, so I'm going to go to my second read. Let me break that down for y'all because some of y'all don't understand that. This is what quarterback's supposed to do. I drop back the pass as I look at my first read. But I'm not even looking at my first read. I'm looking in the direction of my first read because I need to see how the defender is playing it. And right away, you know, based off of the way the defender moves, if he's playing it right or not. And in that moment, Tua drops back. He sees the defender playing it right. And he says, well, I'm going to wait 1 second to see if my guy get open anyway. No. And as soon as you see the defender playing it right, you're supposed to be headed on to number 2. See, the further you get in your progressions, you start to actually rely on the receiver even more. Not that first read. You already know what the defense is doing and whether or not that man is going to be open on the first read. You already know that. So anytime you see Tua back to pass and go like that, but pull it, you already knew that. Well, so why are you waiting an extra second after you pull it and going another way? Instead of going another way. But this is what people are trying to say is him reading progressions. Tua, back to pass, looks left, up, not there, stays the extra second, then realizes it's not there. The pressure's coming. He's getting out. He's looking right. He's looking left. He finds a guy. That is not progressions. That is the pressure is coming. Anybody, oh, I got somebody. And they always say, see, he went to the second guy. That wasn't the initial guy he looked at. That's not reading progressions. Progressions in the pocket are hike the ball, look at the first read, defense got it covered. You see the body shift with poise to the next read. And his head, you see it moving. Not back to pass, not there. No, it's not. Oh, okay, let me look. Oh, anybody? That is not freaking progressions. Look, he turned his head and looked that way and found the second guy. The feet sitting there going like this, like, oh, let me make sure. Oh, I got you. That is not progressions. You know a guy's going through progressions when he's still poised during the whole moment. Not finding somebody. Not just finding somebody. And I'm talking about the NFL. Now I'm gonna break down this comment because I think this was interesting. And this is, and I'm so happy you made this comment, Eugene. Watch this, y'all. Eugene said, TD, you're not telling the truth about Tua. He said someone on ESPN broke down film about how Tua has improved going through his reads. Nitpicking, bro. Okay, let me break that down for you, Eugene, because I'm gonna do this humbly so I don't yell at you with the whole nitpicking conversation. Okay. When these guys on ESPN are showing him improve going through his progressions, I can guarantee you, whatever play that they picked up, they saw Tua hike the ball. And I don't even know what you're talking about, bro, but I want you to go watch it this way when you're done. They saw Tua hike the ball. Either one or two things happened. He looked one way. See, this is another thing that they say that's reading progressions. Tua looks one way. He never even wants to go that way. He's only trying to pull the defender over, and he comes back the other way and lets it rip. Whether that's open or not, he just automatically assumes it is. And you know what? They break the film down and they say, look at him. He's looking to the right. You have this guy over there. He sees nothing's there. He's coming back left and he lets it fly. And they say he reading progressions. If you go watch his college film, Tua is the master at mechanics, and I'm telling y'all that is a part of mechanics. His body work, the way that he moves, any body movement that can manipulate a defense is a part of mechanics as well, and that's what people don't understand. He back to pass, he looks right, knowing he wants to go left the whole time, and that safety start coming over, and he lets it fly. And the sad thing is, whether that guy over there is open or not, he still let it fly. And they call that going through progressions. Now, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen some plays. I have seen plays where Tua has went back to pass, looks left, looks right. Look, I've seen him go through progressions. I am not saying that this man never goes through his progressions. I have seen him go through his progressions. I have seen him do it successfully. But the only times I see him do it and do it successfully is when he does not spend the extra second on the first read. Hike, first read, not there, abandoned right away. But the problem is he only waits on the defense to give him a guarantee that ain't there. Hike, oh, the safety start running over there. That ain't going to be there. And now he's going through. That's how you read defenses. But you also have to recognize that when the safety doesn't help over there in the way that the single defender is playing it, you might have a better option. You might have a better option. So you're right, man. Tua has read because I'm gonna tell you something. The crazy thing is he has improved on reading progressions, because whenever I go back and watch film, I barely ever see it last year and the year before, and when he was in college. I barely ever see it. And I at least see specs now, but he still gets in his way sometimes of that first read. Of that first read. And this is a true issue. And this is where his area of opportunity is. Everything else, Tua is good. Tua is good. That's why you should have faith in him. Those two things. Because I think he can fix those things. Now, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, if we just go out and get two of the best offensive line in the league, I'm telling y'all, you better listen to me clearly. You'll never see a flaw out of this man. Give him the confidence that he can stick back there as long as he wants to. He'll sit back there calm. He'll go through his progressions. He'll rip people apart. But what people don't understand is that's not realistic in the NFL. Every NFL team has a deficiency somewhere, whether you want to recognize it or not. We've invested in our defense, and now we've at least gotten him weapons. Something's not going to be great. And right now it's the offensive line, but they are allowed to grow just like him. And this is why people get frustrated, because we always argue, because there are some quarterbacks that even with pressure, even with the first read taken away, they are going to eat you apart. So you have to ask yourself as a team, do you figure out a way to continue to have the line? I mean, it's impossible to have everything, right? So you either let Tua keep developing and getting better in that area, but until he does, you keep allowing him to manage games. And I'm not calling him a game manager, but that's the offense that they're trying to run for him, is just allow him to manage games and not turn the ball over. That's the offense that they're giving him. They're giving him an offense to manage the game. And then they're sprinkling in a few opportunities for him to make a big play. And if you watched the film last night, you cannot disagree with me. When I started this show today, those 5 deep balls that could have been touchdowns, again, let's say 4 could have been touchdowns. One of them could have been like a 25-yard gain to the 10-yard line. If you watched the film last night, had Tua made the perfect throw, and we know he ain't going to be perfect, wouldn't all 5 of those possibly have been converted? And we would have probably put up at least another 14 points in the game. If you watched the film last night, tell me, am I lying? Tell me, am I wrong? If you saw the film last night, please tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I ain't asking y'all haters who didn't even watch it to just be like, you're wrong. Yeah, we know I'm going to get some of them anyway. And that's what it's about. And this is what people need to start to realize. It's not, see, when you're critiquing Tua, which he's allowed to be critiqued, y'all just don't like that. When you're critiquing Tua, when you're critiquing his game, right? You're allowed to talk about the things that he can do to improve. Everybody want to talk about all the things everybody else could have did, but let me tell you something about critique. When a quarterback coach is in the quarterback room with Tua, he's not telling Tua, the O-line let you down there. He is only worried about telling Tua what he should have done better. When a quarterback's being critiqued, nobody's worrying about what the O-line did. We're just trying to find areas that you can be better. So everybody wants to focus on what everybody else didn't do for him, instead of looking at the film and talking about what he himself was responsible for. We need streams dedicated solely to what he was responsible for, so you can actually realize what he needs to improve on. Because if you don't do that, you start to look at it holistically as if, Well, it wasn't Tua's fault in that game. It ain't his fault. But let's talk about what he could have done. And anybody who watched that all 22 film knows that he could have had about 4 touchdowns thrown in that game. And that's just the truth. What's wrong? Mommy's talking to me and I said underwear. Mommy? All right, I'm coming, okay? I'm going to see why mommy messed with you, okay? I love you. Hey, but I'm actually over, man. Y'all got to head over to Miami Sports Music, man. I know Stephen D is doing his thing. We're going to pick up off of this later, man. I'm going to see if there's another way that's not illegal for me to get the all 22 for y'all. But again, I appreciate y'all tuning in this morning, man. Because I think it's important for us to actually go, for everybody to see what I'm talking about, man. This is TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We got the AFC East roundtable tonight. Make sure you're there or be square. Match that works. Need to pay his debt. If he don't, we going in on him, and we're going to see how this go, okay? TD going fishing. Not today, all right? But I appreciate y'all tuning in and waking up with me. I will see y'all soon. Peace. I am out. Great work, TD. Appreciate it. Respect, TD.